Hey, 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 good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today out there in the internet streets? I am Alviana Brewster, the CEO of Black Nurse Entrepreneurs, the premier organization for Black nurses interested in launching, building, and growing his or her entrepreneurial endeavors worldwide. And so, if you've been following along, you know that I've been coming live to you ever since April of 2023, and today is no different. And so I kicked off the month of January talking all about financial health. And this month, February, I want to really focus on Black excellence, specifically within business, entrepreneurship endeavors. Also, just really talking about the excellence in what we have brought to the table when it comes to our culture, our community, and just society in general, really. Okay. So today I want to talk specifically on the topic of the Black wealth gap. Okay. Now, this also kind of piggybacks off of my previous video. So go back and look at my prior video where I'm talking about our mindset being broke, and you'll really understand what I'm wanting to incorporate into our system of thinking so that we move forward. Okay. So let's hop right in it today. So today's topic all about the black wealth gap. And the first thing that I would like to say to you is to fix your mindset. And that's why I say go back and look at that first video that I had. You know, the mindset is so incredibly important because our mind is really the thing that kind of dictates really everything. What we think, how we feel, what we think we know, and all of the above kind of dictates how we move. And so it is hard to move aggressively or more confidently financially whenever we have a very sick or broke mindset. So I want us to focus on really fixing that mindset. Society kind of has conditioned us to believe that we don't have enough money, that we can only make so much money, there's only so much money to go around. This is as good as it gets. Get your degree, work really hard, and that's that. You know, die, and that's that. And I really want us to focus on really fixing that narrative so that we don't consistently keep passing that down to the next generation. There are people who are out here that are living really wealthy and really healthy lives, and they didn't have to, spend 50 years doing it. They didn't have to break their back doing it. A lot of it was changing their mindset and using their brain power in order to create generational wealth and health for themselves and their future generations. And so I really want you to work on fixing that broke mindset. Get away from broke minded people, please. If I could not stress anything else, get away from people who are Debbie Downers and naysayers and who don't understand. You really got to get into a different room to see something different and to really recognize that there are other things out there besides broke and crazy mindset. Okay. Get around some different people. All right. I want you to really sit in it and create more of an abundance and a wealthy mindset. Just truly sit in it and visualize yourself with money, with wealth, with success. And visualize your investment accounts going up. Visualize signing the paperwork on an investment deal. Really truly visualize that you will become wealthy and your generations will become wealthy. Sit in that, manifest that. The power of thinking, writing it down, and getting out there and doing it, doing the work is so valuable. Okay. Don't just sit there and think about it, but actually think about it and let's get to work. Okay. I want you to focus really heavily on getting educated. My mom used to tell me one thing that I really love. She said they could take a lot of things away from you. They could strip you down to almost nothing. But one thing that they cannot take away from you is your name and what you know. And so I want to focus on really encouraging you to get in educated, read financial health books, really study this. Look at videos or YouTube, people, please, by all means, please vet these people. But there is a lot of financial wealth information out there with videos, with podcasts, with seminars, with summits. Get in rooms where people are speaking and teaching at a higher level so that you become better educated. Okay. And then when you become educated, and please forgive me, I'm not saying that you guys are not educated at all. What I'm saying is really take the time to become financially educated. And one thing about financial education is it's ongoing. Don't think that you could take one seminar or read one book and then you got this down to a T. This is an ever changing thing. when there's new advances in technology, when there's a political season, when there's a war, when there's a drop in the stock market, when there's a rise in the stock market, when the real estate environment goes up or down. There's changes that happen that we have to be aware of. And, it's up and down. It's up and down consistently. But what you want to do is become educated so you understand the process, you understand what's happening, and that you can make decisions on a wiser mindset opposed to a scarcity or a very scared, limited mindset. Okay. One thing that I could suggest to you is to get a financial advisor. And matter of fact, I recommend you getting a financial advisor before you actually need or have to have one. That is something that I talked about for so many years and didn't do it until I absolutely had to have one. And I do regret that. And truth be told, I was sitting in a financial advisor's office in 2008 when the stock market crashed. I was sitting in one's office and he was freaking out. And when he was freaking out, I was like, I'm not putting my money over there. And I didn't invest for so many years. And really looking back at it, that would have been the time to invest. When it was crashing, I could get it. I could have got in for dirt cheap and let my money sit or play my money wisely. And I probably would be sitting on a pretty penny today. Okay. So get with a savvy financial advisor that is not emotionally driven and really, really understand financial wealth. Okay. Also, I would like to encourage you guys to just really stop the blame game and pointing fingers. Okay. Listen, it's time out. It ain't the man's fault. It ain't somebody else's fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your fault in some ways. Sometimes we're really good with blaming ourselves with our financial decisions. Listen, own it, take ownership, step up to the plate and become an adult and make good decisions moving forward. We're not going to make the best decisions always. It happens. I had a situation where I made a decision and it wasn't even me being irresponsible with my money or me not being financially savvy. It was a decision that I made that actually cost me a lot of money. And it was a genuine decision. It was not a bad decision, but it did cost me a lot of money. We've got to be time out with the blame game and point fingers at everybody else. Take ownership, step to the plate, learn what you have to learn, do what you have to do, and get with the right people that you need to get with in order to make better decisions so that we collectively together can close this financial wealth gap. Okay. So stop pointing fingers. I also would like to encourage you to be unafraid to invest. A lot of times we don't want to put our money into places because, A, we want to spend our money. We want to see our money, but we are afraid to put our money somewhere and let it sit. Sometimes investment is a long game. Sometimes you have to be patient over a few years in order to see the long-term results. And so I want to encourage you to do not get in a position where you are afraid to invest your money and invest it wisely. And it goes back to your financial education. It goes back to the financial advisor. When you have those people on board, or that mentality on board, period, those resources will help you to make savvy financial decisions so that it doesn't feel so intimidating when you do begin to start investing. Okay. I want you to really, really understand, especially within the Black community, I want us to learn and really embrace our economic power and our economic freedom. We've got to understand just how powerful we are. We have to understand just how much we bring to the table. We have to own that. We have to make other people respect that. And we have to utilize that power for the greater good for us as a community and for us as American citizens and for the world in general. Okay. So we really, really, really need to understand the power that we have and utilize it for the greater good and utilize it wisely. All right. Now, I would also recommend to please avoid becoming indebted to anything financially if you can. Now, I will say, little asterisks, there are some things that are worth having some good debt, and then there's some things that are not worth it. Okay. Be savvy about that, but don't become financially indebted to anything. I don't want you guys to get into major financial debt or a bunch of credit card issues and things like that when you don't have to, just because you want to ball out of control and live the good life. If you are a good steward with your money, resources, and finances right now, over the next couple of years, then the good life is waiting for you. And you don't have to be indebted financially in order to get there. And so, again, please just become super financially savvy, invested, and make healthy decisions. And don't go out there and be a bad steward of your money and financial resources. I recommend for you to get for you to get involved and advocate for a policy change and reform. This is crucial, and I know a lot of you guys don't want to get involved with things politically, but it's going to take our voices being heard on multiple different levels, whether it's the corporate sector, political sector, or anything else. We deserve to be heard, and we deserve to have policy changes that reflect where we are headed collectively in this country. And so, in order to decrease that gap, we need to be involved. We need to do it with our money, we need to do it with our voices, and we also need to do it strategically with our head. And I would also add, we need to do it collectively together. Okay, there's strength in numbers, there's strength in power. We need to get together, organize together, and collectively stand up for what is right and correct in order to help all of us to move forward collectively together. I would also recommend that you get some property. You need home ownership. Not enough of us have home ownership. Too many of us are renting and putting our money elsewhere when that money could be built within our family unit, and also can be built into a situation where we transfer it for years to come. One thing about real estate is people are always going to need homes. People are always going to need buildings. Real estate is not going anywhere anytime soon. Even when the real estate market kind of crashes, it comes right back up because people need homes. It just is what it is. Okay. So one thing that this country is not going to completely allow to happen is it's not going to allow the real estate market to die. It can't. Like, we have to have homes. We have to have places. And so it is a good one to become involved in. But I still would warn you and suggest to you that you've got to be financially healthy and savvy about your decisions. Okay. And then I want you, one thing, let me add this one. I didn't write this one down, but I want to remind you to establish relationships. Establish relationships with your financial institutions. Be present. Like, let them know who you are and what your goals are and how they can help, and how important. Let me say it like this. I think sometimes we put our money in financial institutions and we just let it sit there, and those financial institutions are actually benefiting off your money. But on the flip side of it, you can benefit from the relationship. And so establish those relationships. Also establish relationships with people who are vetted, that are financially savvy, and this could be business gurus. I'm not necessarily saying it from a standpoint of taking classes and summits. I've already talked about that previously, but I'm talking about it from a standpoint of being around different people and establishing good, solid relationships. You would be surprised at just how much you learn about financial health and wealth just by having conversations with people. Sometimes we got to get outside of our box and get around different people and just have conversation, establish those relationships, and you would be surprised at how far you would go. Okay. Now, what I want you to not forget is, please buy black, buy back into our culture. Now, that's a two-way street, and I want to be very, very clear. Just because a business is a Black-owned business does not mean that we as Black people have to buy from you. Okay? If you are not a good steward of your money, if you disrespect us as customers and clientele, if your product is awful, if you haven't taken the time out to build up a nice, good, savvy business that actually looks like a business, is doing business properly, I am not required to buy from you. Sorry, I'm just not. So it is the responsibility of the business owner to produce great customer service, great products and services, and to be a good steward of your resource as a business owner. Then in return, us as the Black community would be more apt to buy from you, and other people too. Other communities buy Black. Okay. But understand, just because you are a Black-owned business does not require anybody to purchase from you. You must be a good person. You must be a good business owner. You must be running this business like a well-oiled machine for people to want to buy into it. Okay. Those of you who are consumers, please be good consumers. Don't steal from people. Don't destroy people's stuff. Don't badmouth people. I do believe that if there is constructive criticism that needs to happen, that's one thing. But there's no way we're going to shorten this wealth gap by fighting against each other. That's just not beneficial for the whole entire community. So I do encourage us to buy Black, but I also encourage us to be great consumers and great business owners. Okay. My last thing that I want to say is make sure that you are planning for the future. This is not just about you, but the decisions that you make today will affect you as well as your future generations. Not enough Black people in our community are talking about financial wealth and health for the future. We're not talking about trust and the estate plannings and really setting up the wealth that we are accruing right now. We are not having enough conversations about protecting that and being able to transfer that to the next generations for years to come. We've got to sit down with someone. A good estate attorney is someone that you can really sit down with and really plan out your estate, your assets, your resources, so that it stays in the family. And that's one of the things that we have kind of, struggled with. That's a challenge within our community. It's not enough of us are being able to pass down the things that we've built and created. Okay. So I hope this has been beneficial for you. My goal is to obviously bring the best information that I possibly can to B&E, but also to the community. I want to say happy Black History Month. Over here in B&E, we celebrate Black History 365, but it is a little special. We become extra blackety black during Black History Month. And so I want to say happy Black History Month to each of you. Make it a mission to get financially savvy this month and also incorporate your children in the process. Teach them, let them see you make investing decisions. Let them be a part. As you're paying bills, as you're budgeting and stuff like that. I remember my mom used to have me to balance her checkbook. Lord, I hope I didn't make too many mistakes, but I used to balance her checkbook. I used to write out checks and she signed them. She helped me to understand financial history. Financial information very early on. And so did my dad. My dad was more of the savvy saver and investor. And so he talked to us about the stock market and investing early on. So I'm very grateful to have both parents that helped us to understand financial health and wealth just at an early age. But even with their help, there's still a lot of stuff I still needed to learn. And that's where financial seminars and books and advisors and other people came into play. And so I want to remind you that it is very important to continue to become more and more savvy, get more and more educated about your financial health so we can collectively close this gap. Now, one last thing, you know how I am. I dare not leave this without asking you to come and be a part of our membership. B&E Elite is our exclusive membership where you can enjoy all things B&E on a much higher level. We have mentorship. We collectively discuss issues and challenges and wins in business. We mastermind. We support and love on each other. We attend conferences together. We advertise and gain visibility on our products and services. It is really the best and strategic way to enjoy all things B&E. So I invite you to come and join us. I dropped the link below there. You can go to our website at http://blacknurseentrepreneurs.org. Okay. Membership home is up at the top in the right-hand corner. I love you guys. Thank you again. Happy Black History Month. I look forward to seeing some history. You guys are literally making Black history every single day. So I look forward to seeing what you're doing that the people will read about for years and years and years to come. So be smart. Don't be afraid. Don't point fingers, but go out there, become financially savvy and healthier so that we can close the gap and we can continue to pass on wealth for the next tens of thousands of years, right? All right. Bye.